The Arrowverse, which years ago was the main focus of this channel, was always an incomplete DC universe, limited in the characters it could use. Some characters were never allowed, some characters were allowed in limited capacity, and some characters were tested in the Arrowverse before then being forced to be killed off so that they could use them in the DCEU. What I wanted to do is take a look at a version of the Arrowverse where they had access to the entire DC universe, the entire roster of DC characters, and made these TV shows without the limitations of what characters they could use, which at times means making the shows that they actually wanted to make. Initially, this was going to be about the entire universe, but as you could see by the length of this video, I had too much fun expanding on the lore of just the first show, so I decided to make it its own dedicated video. Watching Arrow, between the tone, the seriousness, and the uses of characters like Deadshot and Ra's al Ghul, how it's inspired by the Dark Knight trilogy, and then how the CW also made Batwoman and Gotham Knights, it always seemed like they actually wanted to make a Batman show but weren't quite allowed to, instead making shows about Green Arrow, Batwoman, and then the Gotham Knights. But if we combined all these shows and what they actually wanted to make, we would get a Batman show. This video will explore what the CW Batman show would have looked like as it kicks off the CW's interconnected TV universe, then nicknamed by fans as the Batverse. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Become a member in the Noble tier or above for early access to videos, or the King tier for a special shoutout. Thanks to these members for the extra support. The Bat airs on the CW starting in the 2012 to 2013 season as the sole series in what will become known as the Batverse. The Arrowverse's Batman was played, albeit in a roundabout and brief way, by Warren Christie. Warren was a bit old at the time, 37, to be starting out as Bruce Wayne, but it's only 6 years older than Stephen Amell was, and just look at him in Arrow Season 1, where he played a character named Carter Bowen. He looks a bit young for his age. He'll be playing a 30-year-old Bruce Wayne just returning from his 12-year-long training abroad, which he started at 18 years old. 7 years into that training, after years of studying at universities and from local masters of many disciplines and martial arts, Bruce's full transformation into Batman truly begins when he fakes his death and joins the League of Assassins. This is covered in this season's Flashbacks storyline. Considered dead to the world, at this point in 2007, Bruce was younger, more naive, and his no-kill rule had not set in yet. The League is headquartered on an island known as Wuxian, Chinese for infinity. There, Bruce is trained by Ra's, Talia, and Sensei, and is quickly enlisted into the League's war against the Russian mob, the KGB, and their leader, Anatoly Knyazov. This season ends with Bruce killing the KG Beast by locking him somewhere with no food and no way out. In the present, he has a strict no-kill rule, but after killing the KG Beast, Bruce began a decline towards more and more brutal killing. In the present day, Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham and becomes a vigilante. We then meet a few old friends of his that he distanced himself from after beginning his training. He now reconnects with a few childhood and teenage years friends, like Tommy Elliott, now an affluent, successful surgeon, Selina Kyle, who is Bruce's ex, now a lawyer and secretly dating Tommy, and then Harvey Dent, the DA and Selina's boss. Bruce met Selina as a teenager but was childhood friends with Tommy and Harvey. Bruce and Selina used to date, having bonded over mutual loss. Selina's sister was kidnapped as a kid and went missing. Bruce and Selina broke up when Bruce left to training in his late teens. Initially, Bruce works just with Alfred, but is soon joined by someone he scouted out for help when needed, a man named Jefferson Grant. Named that because, as a counterpart to Diggle, he has a similar role. Diggle was an original character named after a comic writer named Andy Diggle, but he also turned out to kinda be the CW's version of Jon Stewart. This character will be the Batverse's version of a different hero, one who is associated more so with Batman, Black Lightning. This was not the intention. They named him Jefferson because it's a common name, and Grant comes from Batman writers Alan Grant and Grant Morrison. But the similarities compounded as he is revealed to be named Jefferson. He's black, he's divorced, a former Olympic athlete, and he used to live in Metropolis. Because of the lack of limitations and the cheaper powers compared to Green Lantern, Jefferson will actually become Black Lightning in a few seasons as a part of Team Bat, or the Bat family. We are also soon introduced to Barbara Gordon, who will act as the counterpart to Felicity Smoke. She's a bit older, as the CW will generally avoid kid and younger teenage heroes, at least for now. Barbara is in her early 20s working at Wayne Enterprises as Lucius Fox's right-hand girl. She is in IT. Lucius provides Bruce his tech. Barbara quickly figures out what it's for. The plan was for Bruce and Selina to be the show's main couple, but a large portion of the audience, specifically the female one, really connected to the natural chemistry between Bruce and Barbara. This will be a big thing for this show, starting more so in season 2. After a few episodes of fighting the Falcones and Maronis and clashing with the GCPD, Bruce, given the name the Bat by the news and criminals, begins working alongside Captain James Gordon, Detective Renee Montoya, and DA Harvey Dent, as the four of them go after the mob together, similar to The Long Halloween. Early on, there's a 2-episode arc where Bruce faces off against a magical threat, the Gentleman Ghost. He does not seem to be taken aback, as apparently he dealt with magical threats in his training. To defeat Gentleman Ghost, Bruce tracks down and teams up with Zatanna. Let's say Zatanna did not appear on Smallville, so we can use the same actress. Bruce and Zatanna also have a bit of a romantic connection, albeit a very, very brief one, and Zatanna returns in one episode later on to help the Bat with another magical threat. The mid-season finale sees the debut of the main villain, Hush. His identity is kept a secret, but comic readers know it's Tommy Elliott. Hush is similar to Holiday in the season as he kills off mobsters while Bruce and the GCPD try to stop him. Around episode 6, the Bat faces off against the Red Hood gang, with their leader falling into a vat of acid and then returning for one episode in episode 13 as the Joker. He will not be the main villain of this season or any of the following seasons until a lot later, when he will be. In the back half of the season, we're introduced to Dick Grayson, who in this version is an adult, as Bruce goes to the circus with his short-time love interest, Julie Madison. Bruce witnesses the Graysons' death and then tracks down and detains their murderer, Deadshot, who was hired by Tony Zuko. Because of this, Dick begins to worship the Bat and sets out to work for him. While tracking the Bat down, Dick meets Barbara and the two form a friendship. By the end of the season, Dick has become an ally in a similar way to the way Jefferson is. Speaking of, Deadshot is revealed to have also killed Jefferson's brother. Soon, Hush is revealed to actually not be Tommy Elliott, he's Harvey Dent. Hush is, unbeknownst to Harvey, his alter ego. Soon after this reveal, Harvey is viciously scarred during a Maroni trial. Harvey then becomes Two-Face, allowing his alter ego to shed itself of the need of the Hush identity and bandages. Bruce and Selina sleep together while Tommy witnesses, fueling CW drama. Two-Face's plan is revealed to be that he plans on exploding the dams outside of Gotham in order to kill the scum of the area. Harvey's DID developed when he was abused by his father as a kid. Becoming close with Bruce, he began to see the Waynes as his true parent figures. They were killed and Hush began to take control. Harvey completely broke 15 years later when his wife Gilda was murdered in the same area. Two-Face intends on wiping these people out. In the finale, Team Bat stops one of the bombs but fails to stop the other one. Park Row, where Crime Alley is located, is partially destroyed by a flood. Harvey's office is also located there, and Selina was there at the time. Tommy Elliott dies in the flood after saving Selina. Other villains appear throughout the season in one-off appearances, some of whom will return, like Firefly, Mortimer Cadaver, the Riddler, Alberto Falcone, Jeremiah Arkham, Deacon Blackfire, and Gunhawk. Season 2 runs from 2013 to 2014 and is the actual foundation for the Batverse. Season 2's flashbacks show Bruce having proven himself to Raish, being sent on a mission on behalf of the League to an island known as Santa Prisca to help overthrow their occupying government. Santa Prisca was taken over by the White Ghost, who we'll later learn is Dusan al Ghul, the son of Raish al Ghul. In Santa Prisca, Bruce meets and befriends a man named Eduardo Dorrance and a woman named Maggie. This is Selina's sister, who was trafficked to Santa Prisca years ago. Maggie managed to escape her trafficking ring, but spent years on the streets learning to burglarize. At some point, Maggie and Bruce hook up. Bruce, Maggie, and Eduardo are sent to a prison known as Penaduro. In the back half of the flashbacks, Eduardo gets addicted to venom in order to defeat the White Ghost, which they do, but the venom messes with his mind, turning him crazy. In the end, after Eduardo seemingly kills Maggie, Bruce is forced to betray him. He scars Eduardo's face and seemingly kills him. Returning to the League of Assassins, Bruce and Talia sleep together. The present-day story begins with the reveal that Gotham City has begun calling Bruce Batman, and he is the savior of Gotham. I did consider going down the same route of Arrow, taking 4 seasons to get to the name, but Green Arrow and Batman are not the same. They wouldn't be embarrassed over the name Batman. Frankly, honestly, just even the Bat for a full season is a bit of a stretch, but I felt that was fitting. Dick Grayson spent the break between seasons training with Bruce, but that's only a few months. He'll continue acting as behind-the-scenes support whenever needed until near the end of the season when he starts going by Robin, wearing a makeshift Robin-colored hoodie, but he won't get an actual suit until season 3. Gordon has become commissioner, and Renee Montoya, who is still a detective, begins dating a woman named Daria Hernandez, but that won't last beyond this season. After Tommy's death, Selena begins to go off the deep end into alcoholism. The romantic connection between her and Bruce is pretty much entirely cut out here, as the writers decide to pivot and take advantage of the audience's response to the chemistry between Bruce and Barbara, abandoning not only the planned romances between Bruce and Selena, but also between Barbara and Dick. This season plants the seeds for brewbabs. As Selena goes further off the deep end, a mysterious cat burglar named the Cat shows up. She'll be revealed to be Maggie Kyle, shocking Bruce, who thought she died. She survived and was taken in by a secret organization known as the Order of Saint Dumas. There she fell in love with Jean-Paul Valley, Azrael, but later fell out of love. She now escaped, and Azrael now comes to bring her back. The power vacuum left by the Falcones and Maronis is taken advantage of by Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, who we'll later learn is working for the season's main villain. Someone working for the Penguin is Bronze Tiger. Bruce knows him from his flashbacks. They fight and are on equal ground, but Batman eventually wins. Episode 8 will see the introduction of the Batverse's Clark Kent, who also appears in Episode 9. At this point in time, Clark is 25 and just about to move from Smallville to Metropolis, but comes to Gotham when he suspects someone's strength levels suggest he might be similar to him. That was Cyrus Gold, who in the mid-season finale fully becomes Solomon Grundy. Batman inspires Clark to finally reveal himself to the world, something he'll do very soon. He secretly helps Batman defeat Grundy, but it's shown in just a blur, and it's in this episode we'll learn that the Penguin and Solomon Grundy and everything Batman has faced in this season so far are things orchestrated by the main villain, Bane. Eduardo survived, started wearing a mask, and swore vengeance against Bruce. He is now called Bane. He installed Penguin as a big threat for Bruce to handle, and then, after breaking a bunch of people out of prison, he gives them Venom and creates a Venom soldier army that he intends to use to destroy Gotham. Along the way, with help from his top lieutenant, Angel Velalunga, aka Bird, Bane orchestrates a hostile takeover of Wayne Enterprises. To help this takeover along, Bane kidnaps and kills Lucius Fox and then breaks Bruce's back. In order to recover from this as quickly as possible, Bruce injects himself with Venom against Alfred's wishes. Bruce begins to lose his mind as Dick picks up the slack as Robin. Team Bat receives help from Star Labs over in Metropolis. We'll meet characters who will then be main characters on Superman, employees of Star Labs, John Henry Irons and Leslie Willis. They create the cure for Venom, which is tested on Bruce, and luckily it works. Team Bat goes to war with the Venom army, curing all of them, but not before they caused massive damage and casualties. In order to get close to Bane, Bruce thinks of a way to trick him. Bruce and Barbara kiss in front of a secret camera that he knew about, making Bane think that she's his true love. He kidnaps her, she gets close, and stabs him with the cure. This fake out is definitely not just a fake out. Alongside anyone I already mentioned, throughout the season, Team Bat fights the Royal Flush Gang, Sophia Falcone, Mad Hatter, the Joker again, Clock King, Rustum, and Nocturna, for which Zatanna returns to help. Hints are dropped towards the Court of Owls. Jeff learns that Deadshot was hired by them to kill his brother. Deadshot appears as a member of the Suicide Squad put together by Amanda Waller, and consisting of Deadshot, Nocturna, Bronze Tiger, Jefferson Grant, and Claudia Shane, who is Jeff's ex-wife, and an Argus agent. In the end of the season, Batman and Argus strike a deal as Argus creates a prison on Wuxian Island, which is now abandoned, where they send Bane. Dick's Robin suit is teased, while Barbara, having asked Bruce, begins training to become a vigilante as well. The Cat returns to the Order of Saint Dumas, while Selena, who has recovered from alcoholism, leaves Gotham for now. Bruce steps up as the new CEO of Wayne Enterprises, replacing Lucius Fox. That leads to the 2014 to 2015 season, which is when the Batverse truly becomes a universe, featuring the Bat Season 3, Superman Season 1, a crossover event known as Batman vs. Superman, and a very short animated CW Seed series where both Batman and Superman appear called The Flash. There's also Constantine on another network that is later retconned into the Batverse. I didn't feel like they would change that, I feel like it would just still be Constantine. In the flashbacks, Bruce begins to rethink his path in life and his killing after he is ordered to kill a kid by Ra's al Ghul. When he refuses, a clash is formed between him and the League of Assassins, bolstered by Talia mysteriously disappearing for no apparent reason. Replacing her is Nissa al Ghul, who takes over, as Ra's is at the end of his Lazarus Pit cycle. He is elderly, weak, and wants to be replaced. It's Nissa who is the true mastermind. Ra's al Ghul's wishes is that Bruce replaces him. Bruce goes along with the flow while secretly planning for his escape. He teams up with fellow League members Kurt Lance and Dinah Drake. While planning their takedown of the League, they all bond. Kurt and Dinah fall in love and hold a wedding in secret, so Dinah becomes Dinah Lance. At one point, Kurt is killed and Dinah screams her first canary cry. She'll reveal that her mother had this power and she was a vigilante in the 1980s, but Dinah didn't think she inherited it. Eventually, they destroy the League HQ, dismantle the League, destroy the Lazarus Pits, and then kill both Nyssa and Raish. Raish, however, is found by Talia. Dinah and Bruce go their separate ways, with Dinah eventually becoming Black Canary off-screen. In the present, the dynamic duo team up to stop the Joker, sending him to Arkham. Later in the season, Joker is broken out by Harley Quinn, making her debut. Maggie Kyle returns to Gotham to rejoin the team, only to be quickly killed by a mysterious killer known to her. It'll be revealed later that she was killed by her ex-lover, Jean-Paul Valley. He killed her on behalf of the Order of Saint Dumas in order to get Batman to come after them. Hearing of her sister's death, Selina returns to Gotham, having cultivated thievery skills while abroad faster than physically possible. Selina becomes Catwoman, a recurring enemy of Team Bat, mostly out for herself for now. We are introduced to Ted Kord, the CEO of Kord Industries, where Barbara now works. We'll learn that his fiancée Melody Case was killed by a Venom soldier. While he works on a suit of armor inspired by a hero from the past, he and Barbara connect romantically. Becoming Blue Beetle, he clashes a bit with Batman, but ultimately they become allies. At one point, there's an episode focused on Barbara's origin story from her time in college. Her ex-boyfriend was Cooper Selden, a hacker known as Brother Eye, who returns in the present to cause trouble. Figuring out that it was Azrael who killed Maggie, Batman tracks him down, only to eventually learn that the Order of Saint Dumas is actually an alias for the rebuilt League of Assassins. Raish was brought back to life using a secret Lazarus Pit by his daughter Talia. Talia reveals that the reason she disappeared is that she got pregnant at the end of the flashbacks of season 2 with Bruce's baby. Damian Al Ghul is now 5 years old. This is something that Bruce learns during the crossover episode. Because of the past betrayal, Raish, who has now been invigorated, and Talia go after Bruce with full force. The mid-season finale showcases a duel atop a mountaintop that ends with Bruce being stabbed through the chest. He's found and nursed back to health by a mysterious stranger also struggling with the League, Oliver Queen. Oliver's arch-enemy, Merlin, is a member. Oliver is already Green Arrow, having debuted a year prior. While Bruce recovers, Robin and Jeff deal with Black Mask, a mob boss who took over. During this time, Catwoman starts helping the team and becomes a hero, while Barbara officially becomes Batgirl. Bruce returns and helps the team defeat Black Mask for good. During this time, Jefferson finds out about his father. He thought that he was abandoned and so took his mother's name. Turns out, his father heroically died reporting on a mob boss named Tobias Whale. Jeff's mother told him not to, and then because he did and was killed for it, she never forgave him. Because of this, Jeff changes his name to Jefferson Pierce. This was a retcon that was caused by the audience realizing all the similarities between Grant and Black Lightning, and the show capitalizing on that because they didn't have anything telling them not to. This will actually have larger effects on the show than realized, because Batman plus Black Lightning is a clear hint towards the Outsiders, something that will become a reality, at least sort of, later on the show. Also in this season, Jefferson reconnects with an ex-girlfriend known as Lynn Stewart. Eventually, they fall in love, and in this season get married. Next, Raish manipulates events to make Batman public enemy number 1. Raish reveals to Gordon the identities of both Batman and Batgirl. Gordon flips his lid in concern and completely turns on Batman. It'll be revealed that he was also injected by fear toxin after Scarecrow appeared in the crossover episode, making Gordon very paranoid. Wanting to step out of Batman's shadow into his own, Dick leaves Gotham and moves to Bloodhaven, having been Robin and in the Robin suit for less than 1 season. This was due to Brenton Thwaites wanting to leave the show, but he will be back. It's revealed that Raish still wants Bruce to take his place and will cover the entire city in fear toxin if he doesn't. With no other option, Bruce accepts and takes on the role of Al-Kuafa'ash, which is Arabic for the Bat. Intended to marry Talia, Bruce fools the Bat family, but it's revealed to be a ruse. This stressful situation, however, unlocks Jefferson's metagene. He then officially becomes Black Lightning, calling in the assistance of Superman for one instance, Green Arrow and Black Canary for others, as well as Blue Beetle helping the entire time. The heroes, and it's a group of them now, all manage to defeat the League of Assassins before they can unleash the fear toxin. Canary and Arrow hit it off, and she joins him back to Star City. Talia and Damian disappear again, leaving the city in the capable hands of Black Lightning, Blue Beetle, Catwoman, Captain Renee Montoya, and Commissioner James Gordon. Bruce and Barbara have now gotten together after Barbara broke up with Blue Beetle, and they drive off together into the sunset, making for a bit of a controversial ending, which will lead into the show's worst season. Throughout the season, the following villains also appear: Squid, Amygdala, Cluemaster, Arnold Flask, Professor Pig, and a few members of the Court of Owls. There's also a Suicide Squad episode in which Nocturna is killed. In the 2015 to 2016 season, the Batverse completely solidifies, including the Bat Season 4, Superman Season 2, Wonder Woman Season 1, The Flash Season 2, and a crossover event featuring Booster Gold known as World's Finest, which is meant to set up the Justice League of America show. The Bat Season 4 goes down as the show's worst, taking a nosedive in writing, a bit of a lighter tone, and very heavy focus on the Brewbabs romance. The season begins with Bruce and Barbara living together outside of Gotham, but back in Gotham, Catwoman, Blue Beetle, and Black Lightning, now with a costume, track down the secret organization that's been hinted at until now, the Court of Owls. They struggle with the court's Talon and various other members. They need help. Bruce and Barbara return. Now wearing a new suit, Batman goes after Talon, and the story begins. Flashbacks deal with Bruce moving on from training with the League. Not feeling ready to return to Gotham, he heads to Nanda Parbat, where he trains under the Ramakrishna-worshipping O-Sensei alongside fellow students Lady Shiva, Richard Dragon, Ben Turner, who we've previously met, and Rip Jagger. To be perfectly frank, this season's flashbacks are completely taken from the Batman Soul of the Dragon movie, which would simply be written as flashbacks for a season of the Bat, rather than an original animated movie. There is a secret door in Nanda Parbat that can only be unlocked with Sensei's secret sword. One day, Rip Jagger steals the sword and unlocks the door, unleashing a powerful serpent god known as Naga. Rip is secretly a member of the Cobra Cult, which is run by King Snake. Unbeknownst to anyone, he's Bane's father. Bruce teams up with Shiva, Dragon, and Turner to defeat Jagger, King Snake, and the Cobra Cult, all while learning about the sanctity of life from O-Sensei. Pretty quickly, Constantine appears to help, having been attracted by the actions of the Cobra Cult. He eventually gives Bruce a magical scar that will return in the present day. This is when Constantine was retconned into the Batverse, and he will return, including in that very same episode in the present day where they team up again. By the end of the flashbacks, both Rip Jagger and Richard Dragon die, King Snake is defeated, and the Cobra Cult is dismantled. Bruce, Shiva, and Turner become close friends and decided to head together to another training spot, Bruce's final training grounds, Japan. Back to the present day storyline, a flash forward shows Clark visiting Bruce at a gravestone in the future, confirming that this season someone will die. It's a mystery throughout the season as to who it is, but pretty soon we are introduced to the next Robin, Jason Todd. Jason is a teenager. He's a teenage street rat who steals the wheels off the Batmobile and then is taken in by Bruce after learning that Jason's parents were killed by Two-Face in the Crime Alley flood. Jason spends half of the season training. The Bat family fight the Court of Owls, their Talon, and their secret leader Lincoln March. March is running for mayor against David Hall and eventually wins, turning over near complete control of Gotham to the Court of Owls. Early on, Blue Beetle leaves the series as he's set up to join the Justice League show. As Batman and Gordon repair their relationship, they turn to Two-Face, who returns as a recurring character that they turn to for information about the court. One thing they learn is that a woman named Silver St. Cloud, who Bruce dated in his teenage years, is now a member. Victor Freeze debuts as Mr. Freeze in his classic story, but later in the season, he learns that it was the Court of Owls who caused his accident, thus preventing him from working further on his wife's cure. Thus, he starts a vendetta against the court. During the crossover, Barbara finds out that Bruce has a son that he didn't tell her about. She finds out, freaks out, and leaves him. This timeline is then reversed by a day by Booster Gold, meaning none of that happened, but it will return. The mid-season finale features Bruce and Barbara getting engaged, only for Barbara to get shot by the Court of Owls. Barbara's time as Batgirl has officially and pretty quickly ended. Her time as Oracle has just begun. This is shown off a few episodes later when she's met with the hacker nemesis named Savant, who she single-handedly defeats. Unfortunately, Barbara finds out that Bruce has a son for real this time. Feeling like she can't trust him, Barbara breaks off the engagement. But unlike Felicity on Arrow, she won't regain her ability to walk. To distract Batman, the Court of Owls cause an Arkham breakout. Several villains escape, and Batman spends a few episodes tracking them down. Joker, Riddler, Riddler, and Two-Face all manage to escape completely, while Batman fights on screen for the first time Magpie, the Terrible Trio, and Deathbolt, who is a metahuman. In this version of the CW, they do not have a mandate to get rid of anyone, so the Suicide Squad are not killed off. Waller is still around, Deadshot is still alive, and they, alongside the likes of Harley Quinn and Bronze Tiger, are members of the Suicide Squad. They're simply mostly in the background. They're in this universe doing their own thing and appear whenever the writers deem it necessary, which is not very often. They might even appear in other shows across the Batverse. Dick Grayson returns for one episode right before Jason becomes Robin. He officially passes the mantle of Robin to Jason and leaves again, maybe setting him up to become Nightwing. Professor Pig becomes a late season villain, teaming up with the Court against Batman. After Batman, alongside Superman, teamed up with him in his own animated series, The Flash appears in one episode to aid with one of his rogues hired by the Court, a speedster named the Speed Demon. Just a few episodes after Jason becomes Robin, his fate as the one teased to die becomes more and more likely, as in this episode he's kidnapped by the Joker, but actually does manage to survive as they escape. Instead, Jefferson's brother Alan is revealed to be alive and is a member of the Court of Owls. Jeff makes the mistake of trusting him, but he turns on him, allowing Lincoln March, who by the way is the main villain of the season, to get the opportunity to stab Catwoman right in the stomach. Selina spends her dying moments telling Bruce to get back together with Barbara. She is the person in the tombstone. Catwoman dies, and then the following episode, Selina's old friend Holly Robinson becomes Catwoman for one episode. She will return. Soon, we learn about the Court's real plan. Centuries ago, they chose to take over Gotham City because of there being a large amount of natural Lazarus pits in Gotham that they've been using. Their talons are disfigured, hundreds of years old assassins who lost their consciousness due to extended and, unlike Ra's al Ghul, sloppy Lazarus pits uses. The pits also help power their Mask of Athena, which the leader, Lincoln March, uses. This is an artifact that gives him super strength, speed, and flight. The Court creates a city-sized bunker and cultivates nuclear bombs they plan to use to eliminate humanity aside from their own members. Lincoln March intends to be a god. The Bat family managed to dismantle, destroy, or take away control of all of the nukes aside from one. The Court unleashes a nuke against the city known as Monument Point. Oracle, forced into an impossible decision, redirects it to a small town known as Haven Rock, which is completely obliterated. In the finale, Lincoln finds out that his idol is not the Mask of Athena. The owl symbol breaks off and reveals a bat. This is the mask of the Mayan god Kamazatz. The idol breaks and its energies unleash upon Lincoln. He turns into a giant bat creature, which is the Batverse's version of Man-Bat. To defeat him, Batman calls upon the magic of the Bat God for himself, accessing the light side of the powers using the scar that Constantine gave him. Using this power, he's able to turn Man-Bat right into Lincoln March, and nothing else. The Bat family all then team up to defeat him. Going into Season 5, the Bat family consists of Batman, Robin, Oracle, and Alfred, as Jefferson decided to quit, feeling ashamed and responsible for Catwoman's death. But also, his wife Lynn is pregnant. Gordon quits the force, unable to handle the stress anymore, and Renee Montoya steps up as commissioner of the GCPD. The 2016 to 2017 season includes The Bat Season 5, Superman Season 3, Wonder Woman Season 2, Justice League of America Season 2, and a crossover event called Our Worlds at War. After the series' worst season, the Bat has a bit of a redemption, returning with a much darker tone and much higher quality writing in Season 5. The flashbacks come to an end as we chronicle Bruce's final year of training. In Japan, Bruce trains under Takabe Kirigi alongside his friends Ben Turner, Lady Shiva, and a Japanese woman named Tatsu Yamashiro. Together they face off against a Japanese mob called the Deathmen, led by Lord Deathman, who wears a skull mask and has very powerful healing powers. The season then focuses heavily on the concept of killing and Bruce's no-kill rule, solidifying to the point of vowing to never kill again, as he's then betrayed by his friends. Shiva and Turner sell out, hired by the Deathmen. Shiva kills Kirigi, while Turner, after being paid a lot for one job, completely leaves Japan. The story comes to an end as Bruce and Katana defeat Lord Deathman and Lady Shiva, with the former dying and the latter escaping, and Bruce returning to Gotham to fully become the Batman. In the present, James Gordon is revealed to have run for mayor, and early on in the season, he wins. We meet reporter Victor Sage, who is hell-bent on proving Bruce Wayne is Batman, while the show also introduces the question, obviously these two are the same, right? Well, at the same time, we meet a serial killer known as Prometheus, who sets out to destroy Batman's legacy. It's revealed that Victor Sage is an alias for Victor Zsasz, and that he is Prometheus. This Prometheus is even more sadistic than his Arrowverse counterpart, cutting slices into his skin for every person person he kills, a loose adaptation of Victor Zsasz, combined with Prometheus and The Question. Like comic Prometheus, his parents were killed by cops and he swore vengeance against justice, soon becoming laser focused on Batman when he debuted. He was trained by Lady Shiva, revealed to have survived the flashbacks. Early on in the season, Rupert Thorne takes over as a new mob boss, being a sort of secondary main villain for a few episodes. Batman fights Mr. Freeze, Scarecrow starts trying to mass produce a fear toxin drug, Batman fights an assassin named David Kane, while Black Lightning deals with his own multiple episode arc side storyline where he finds himself involved in a Markovian conflict, in which he helps Prince Bjorn Markov fight his evil uncle Baron Bedlam and his sister Terra. Tatsuya Mashiro, now known as Katana, will be revealed to have gone through a lot over the course of the last 5 years. She got married, but her husband was killed by the Yakuza. She went after his killers and eventually got her hands on the Soul Stealer sword. However, after stopping his killers, she just went into the assassin life. She was sent to Markovia as an assassin. Eventually, Batman shows up, helps defeat Baron Bedlam, but Geoforce, or Bjorn Markov, was exiled from Markovia, and Katana is convinced to turn her life around and join Batman as a superhero in Gotham. Black Lightning rejoins the team while Geoforce and Katana join the team, creating a sort of loose adaptation of The Outsiders. And finally, soon after that, Holly Robinson debuts as Spoiler and joins the team. Bruce starts dating reporter Vicky Vale, who is also hellbent on proving he's Batman, while Barbara begins dating Officer Jason Bard. Human Target appears once in the flashbacks and exactly 5 years later in the present day. In the mid-season finale, Spoiler is revealed to be working with Prometheus, leading to Prometheus then killing Jason Todd. Following this, Barbara also breaks up with Jason Bard, and Bruce then meets Selina Kyle, alive, just 1 week after he was in a virtual reality experience where he married her. She is revealed to be the same character who appeared in Superman Season 2. This version of Selina is a clone created by Project Cadmus, appearing in that season as a villain in 1 episode, and now she works for Prometheus. A few episodes later, we meet a kid named Tim Drake. Setting out to place himself as the next Robin, he forces his way onto the team. We see his origin involving his neighborhood being taken over by a mobster named Torque, and how Batman, in between seasons, saved his family. Oracle gets a new nemesis in the Calculator, Bruce and Barbara get back together, and in the last few episodes, Prometheus mostly stops being Prometheus and starts being called Zsasz. Zsasz and his allies take most of the Bat family out of commission, kidnaps them alongside Talia and Damian, and takes them to Wuxan Island. Desperate, Bruce recruits several enemies. There's David Kane, who is Lady Shiva's ex, who volunteers just to take her down. The prisoners in the Wuxan Island prison, who are Bane and then Bloodsport. Bloodsport having appeared in the first crossover. Bane has recovered mentally. He is now completely good. Tara Markov also joins to help save her brother, having redeemed herself a bit. Bloodsport turns on Batman as it's revealed that Zsasz got to him first, Bane dies, and then the season ends on an explosive cliffhanger where everyone but Bruce, Damian, and Zsasz were caught in the blast fire. Who died? Well, it's a pretty crazy cliffhanger, but season 6 will let it down. The 2017 to 2018 season includes The Bat Season 6, Superman Season 4, Wonder Woman Season 3, Justice League of America Season 3, a show called Green Lantern that will later be retconned into the Batverse, a crossover event called Forever Evil, and another CW seed series called New Gods Mr. Miracle Season 1. The Bat Season 6 is the first to not have flashbacks and to change its main villain midway through. It'll be revealed that the only deaths were Spoiler and Talia al Ghul, while Jefferson gets nerve damage that turns off his powers, albeit temporarily. Everyone else is completely fine. Bruce officially takes Damian into his custody. He's only 8 years old, was not trained by the League, and this is not a world where children become heroes, so he's more of a side character and a bit of a different take on Damian. Tim Drake, however, has now become Robin. After the explosion, Tara was kidnapped by an organization known as Leviathan. Batman and Brion go on a special mission to find her, while Jefferson takes over the role of Batman. Eventually, however, Jefferson's powers come back. It'll be revealed that the Calculator, who appeared in the last season, was working for a crime syndicate led by the Riddler. Other members include the Joker, Catwoman, the Penguin, and Falseface. The Calculator turns on them and becomes good, and eventually helps Barbara create a chip that allows her to walk again. As their leader, Riddler is the main villain for most of the season. In the crossover event, the heroes of Earth come together together for Clark and Lois's wedding, which is interrupted by the Legion of Doom. When the whole thing is said and done, however, Clark and Lois have a makeshift wedding that Barbara and Bruce hijack, deciding to get married at the exact same time. The government comes after Batman, a campaign led by Checkmate, primarily Agent Sasha Bordeaux. The Question is revealed to have been Renee Montoya this whole time. She wore a suit that made her look large and masculine and a voice modulator to sound like that. She is killed by Catwoman, however, at the order of the Riddler. While dealing with the Riddler, the Bat family fractures. Batman, Oracle, and Robin face off against Black Lightning, Katana, and Geoforce after a disagreement about Batman's constant surveillance of them. Jeff's team calls themselves the Outsiders to the Bat family, but it turns out Bruce has contingency plans for them, so while they are definitely more powerful, Batman and Robin, alongside Oracle and Alfred, are able to take them down. Eventually they reconcile, but before that, Dick returns, revealed to have become Nightwing. He made enemies of the Blockbuster gang who have escaped to Gotham. He stops them and then rejoins the show. 2/3 into the season, the Joker turns on the Riddler and kills him, taking over as the main villain and the primary threat of the show. Joker is revealed to be working alongside another evil organization known as the Quadrant, one of whom is Simon Hurt. Selina turns good after seeing Joker's brutal antics. Joker has gotten a lot darker, having cut off his face. Sasha Bordeaux proves Bruce's Batman to the public, and in the finale, Joker kills James Gordon. Batman defeats Joker in a final fight, but ultimately loses, as despite being left broken, Joker manages to escape, while Bruce is declared legally insane and sent to Arkham Asylum. Over the course of the season, they also fought the Mad Bomber and the Ventriloquist. The 2018 to 2019 season includes the Bat Season 7, Superman Season 5, Wonder Woman Season 4, Justice League of America Season 4, Green Lantern Season 2, New Gods Mr. Miracle Season 2, and a crossover event called Trinity. The Bat Season 7 starts the show's flash forwards. Flash forwards show Gotham City in the year 2040, having gotten even worse after an earthquake turned it into a no man's land. Batman died saving the world decades ago, and much of the Bat family have died as well. Damian, now an adult, lost touch with Barbara years ago and soon finds himself allying with an older retired Dick Grayson, an older Tim Drake, Black Lightning's daughters Thunder and Lightning, and Kate Gordon. Together they face off against Derek Powers and his evil corporation, who have been profiting off of it being a no man's land. In a twist, Damian actually more so takes after Barbara and becomes a very efficient hacker, while Kate is who takes after her father and is revealed to have been trained by Dick, Tim, and Katana as a kid. In the end, they all team up to defeat Derek Powers. They do, and Derek falls into an exploding reactor, leaving room for him to return as Blight. In the present, Bruce is in Arkham. He begins to plan his escape while he deals with some of the villains he put there, like Penguin, Scarecrow, and David Kane. Bruce befriends someone named Matt. Bruce is put through mandatory therapy by the evil Dr. Hugo Strange. Meanwhile, the Quadrant is revealed to be the Black Glove, run by Dr. Hurt. A new Batman shows up working for them. With Checkmate enforcing strict no vigilante laws in Gotham, most of the Bat family work with the GCPD, or Argus, with one or two exceptions. Dick Grayson and Tim Drake both vie for the role of Batman, feeling like the current Batman is usurping the role and disrespecting the legacy. The Bat family deals with the Joker and a group working for him known as the League of Smiles, Torch, Happy Hill, and the Merrymaker. The Bat family manages to defeat the League of Smiles and the Joker, but Joker is sent to Arkham and quickly takes over. Bruce takes Joker down eventually and then gets control of Arkham back. During these events, Penguin and Scarecrow die. Matt is revealed to be Matt Hagen, aka Clayface. He manipulated Bruce to help him escape. The prison dampened his powers, but now that he's out, he can go back to being Clayface. Barbara managed to manipulate events so that Bruce receives his freedom. He's declared sane, but now he has to act as Batman with his identity public. To do so, Bruce and the rest of the Bat family become deputized by the GCPD as they begin to deal with the Black Glove. The crossover event ends with Bruce making a deal with Metron to sacrifice his life when the time comes. This is meant to set up the final crossover the following year, in which Batman is being teased to die, as the crossover coincides with the final season of The Bat. The new Batman is revealed to be Jason Todd, having been brought back to life and manipulated by the Black Glove using the one last Lazarus Pit in Gotham City. After this reveal, he no longer goes by Batman and switches to the Red Hood. Killer Croc finally appears in one episode, as does Poison Ivy. Matt returns as Clayface in a two-part episode and is defeated. Eventually, eventually Jason takes over the Black Glove and becomes the main villain after Dr. Hurt's death. In the last few episodes of the season, Jason sets out to get revenge against Batman for letting him die, not killing Prometheus, and then replacing him with Tim. Jason's mind was also damaged by the pits. In the end, he is cured as he is defeated. Barbara gets pregnant and gives birth to Kate. As the season comes to an end, Bruce is then recruited by Metron again to go on a quest to retrieve many people and items necessary to eventually defeat Darkseid in the Batverse's final crossover. The 2019 to 2020 season includes the Bat Season 8, Superman Season 6, Wonder Woman Season 5, Justice League of America Season 5, Green Lantern Season 3, and the first season of a show spinning off of the last crossover, Aqualad, and a crossover event called Final Crisis. This is not the final year of the Batverse, but it is the final year of the Bat, and for all intents and purposes, it's the Batverse's conclusion. Everything after this is going to be a sort of epilogue. Season 8 is the final season of the Bat and deals with the quest set up by the end of Season 7. Barbara and Geoforce are mostly left behind as they barely appear. Bruce goes from place to place on his quest, initially by himself. He's soon joined by Jeff and then Selina. Together they fight a resurfaced Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, and Blockbuster. Flash forwards show future Team Bat facing the Jokers and their leader Joker's daughter. They are then sent back in time by Metron to join the Bat family as they prepare for the final crisis. Together they face off against Poison Ivy, who returns and causes Bruce to hallucinate a time loop involving the late James Gordon. Metron then sets up a test on Wuxian Island using Bruce's first ever villain, the Cagey Beast, who the entire Bat family come together to fight. And Kate takes up the mantle of Batwoman while taking her father's last name as well, Kate Wayne, aka Batwoman. In the Final Crisis crossover event, Darkseid comes to Earth and gets his hands on the anti-life equation. In part 1, parademons invade and they kill Batman. Metron then dies as well, and the Chair of Mobius resurrects Bruce, turning him into the new God of Knowledge and the user of the Mobius Chair. Using this new position in tandem with his detective skills and general Batman expertise, he's able to find material needed to complete a bullet that he uses to shoot Darkseid. This is going to be the first time that he kills someone since he made his vow in the flashbacks. It's also certainly the first time he has ever shot a bullet. It'll also be revealed that the future that the flash forwards take place in is one infused with Darkseid energy. In this timeline, Darkseid was defeated, and so the future is now changed. Having been taken over by the Mobius Chair, he is now forever changed. He is the God of Knowledge. Bruce spends the rest of time in this role, seemingly dead to the world, until finally joining his great love, Barbara Gordon, in heaven. The future characters are sent back to their time, and now the future has a new hero, Batwoman, but also she takes in a new Robin, Carrie Kelly. The CW attempted to get a spin-off show called Batwoman and Robin off the ground, but it didn't quite go to series, leaving one cliffhanger unresolved. Damian in the future was kidnapped. This is going to be referenced in Season 8 of Superman. And finally, the finale depicts Bruce's funeral, where we learn he used his new power to save Gotham and resurrect some loved ones like Lucius, Tommy Elliott, James Gordon, and Renee Montoya. Many Batverse heroes cameo, one of whom is Clark Kent. Tyler Hoechlin actually poses in front of the gravestone, which then becomes a huge meme used to this day. Flashbacks from a few years prior depict Batman during Season 1 going after a criminal named Frank Miller. In the present day, he returns and kidnaps Damian, forcing the Bat family to come together without the Batman. The series comes to an end here, but the Batverse doesn't. Years later, in the 9th and final season of Superman, Batman returns. Using his God of Knowledge powers, he becomes Batman again temporarily, before returning to the Mobius Chair. That will be his final appearance, and near the end of the Batverse. Thanks so much for watching.